Welcome to Elements of Power, where we decode the forces that define our world. Today, we're diving deep into Turkey, a nation rising at the crossroads of empires. But this isn't about the tourist brochures. We're here to understand the anatomy of its power, its complex strategy, and its raw, calculated ambition.
Okay, let's jump right into the central puzzle, shall we? How can a cornerstone member of NATO, the Western Military Alliance, turn around and buy the S-400, one of the most sophisticated air defense systems in the world, from its number one rival, Russia? It just doesn't seem to add up, right? And it gets even more complicated. Turkey steps up and presents itself as this neutral mediator between Russia and Ukraine, brokering these absolutely critical grain deals to feed the world. And yet, at the very same time, its now famous Bayraktar drones are one of the most decisive weapons in Ukraine's arsenal. So, what's going on? How is it playing both sides of the fence? And to top it all off, while it's still officially a candidate to join the European Union, Turkey is aggressively pushing its own claims in the Eastern Mediterranean, which often puts it head-to-head with other NATO members like Greece and France. Now, on the surface, this all looks like a mess of contradictions. But what if I told you they aren't contradictions at all? What if this is all part of a very deliberate, very complex strategy? So, how are we going to make sense of all this? Here's the plan. We're going to tackle the paradox head-on by deconstructing Turkey's power piece by piece. We'll look at its tangible assets, the real-world stuff. We'll walk its pretty dangerous economic tightrope. We'll trace the incredible global web it's weaving. And then we'll get to the big question. Are we watching an empire be reborn? All right, let's get into it. Deconstructing a rising power. You see, to really get what Turkey is doing, just looking at a simple map of its friends and enemies, well, that's not going to cut it. We need to pop the hood and see how the engine really works. And for that, we need a special kind of framework. And that framework is something we call the power stack model. Now think of it like an MRI, but for an entire country. It lets us see everything, all the different layers of its power, from the solid ground of its geography, all the way up to the invisible currents of the stories it tells about itself. And most importantly, we can see how all those layers connect and work together. So we're going to start at the very bottom of the stack, with the hard physical stuff that gives Turkey its foundational strength. We're talking about its land, its people, and the tools it builds. The philosopher Montesquieu once said that the geography of a country is the shaper of its destiny. And honestly, when you look at Turkey, you just can't find a truer statement. Its location isn't just a spot on a map. It's the literal bedrock of its entire power stack. And at the absolute heart of that geography are the Bosphorus and Dardanelles Straits. This is the only maritime path from the Black Sea out into the Mediterranean. So think about that. Turkey doesn't just sit on a bridge between continents. It actually controls a geopolitical faucet. It can turn the tap. Thanks to a 1936 treaty, the Montreux Convention, it has the authority to regulate warships passing through, a lever it pulled almost immediately after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. But geography's just the foundation. Built right on top of it is maybe Turkey's most dynamic asset, its people. I mean, while the rest of Europe is getting older, Turkey's staying incredibly young. Its median age is just 33. Compare that to Germany, where it's 47. What does that get you? A huge, energetic workforce, a vibrant market at home, and a deep well of military-age citizens. It's a powerful engine for both growth and influence. And all that human capital is being channeled directly into a third tangible asset, technology. Just look at this number. Turkish defense exports have skyrocketed by almost 275% in the last decade alone. This isn't just about making a profit selling weapons. No, this is a deliberate, calculated strategy to achieve what they call strategic autonomy. You've probably heard of the Bayraktar TB2 drone, right? It became a global symbol of this ambition, literally changing the outcome of conflicts from Libya to Ukraine. But here's the thing, they aren't stopping there. Not even close. They're developing their own fifth-generation fighter jet, the Khan, building their own frigates, their own tanks. The goal here is crystal clear. Never again will we be dependent on foreign powers for our own security. But of course, all this ambition, well, it comes with a steep price. And this reveals the single biggest vulnerability in Turkey's power stack, its economy. This is what you might call the giant with feet of clay. And this is where things get really, really tricky. On one hand, you've got the 19th largest economy on the entire planet, a massive industrial base. But on the other hand, it's battling absolutely crippling inflation. I'm talking over 70% in 2024. This forces them into a crazy, delicate balancing act. To fund their entire quest for independence, they remain deeply dependent on foreign investment and tourism, often from the very same nations they're challenging on the world stage. This economic fragility actually helps explain the next layers of the stack, the more abstract tools of power. It's like if you know your foundation has a crack in it, you'd better build a pretty sophisticated web of networks and a powerful story to hold the whole thing together. And this web is just a masterclass in geopolitical hedging. Just think about this for a second. Turkey is a core member of NATO and a strategic partner of Russia. It's an official EU candidate and the leader of the Organization of Turkic States. It's a major actor in Africa and the Middle East. By keeping a foot in basically every camp, it can pivot, it can adapt, and yeah, it can play the great powers against each other for its own benefit. And that brings us to the very top of the stack, the story, the narrative. You see, a truly powerful nation doesn't just act, it tells a story that justifies its actions. And a key chapter in Turkey's story is called Mavi Vatan, which means blue homeland. This doctrine reimagines Turkey as a major maritime power, and it provides a powerful, nationalistic reason for its naval expansion and its search for energy in contested waters. So, we've taken the entire machine apart. Now, it's time to put it back together. And when you see all the layers of this power stack working together, all those chaotic paradoxes we started with, they suddenly snap into focus. You see a coherent, calculated grand strategy emerge. Here it is, the core of the Turkish strategy. It's a system of compensation. The explosive growth in defense tech is there to buy its autonomy. Its unique geography gives it undeniable leverage in any crisis. Its web of networks lets it hedge its bets, and its powerful national narrative mobilizes support at home and projects influence abroad. Every single layer is designed to support the others and compensate for any weakness. And this leaves us with one final crucial question. Turkey is building this formidable machine of power to carve out its own destiny. But is its greatest challenge an external one, from the great powers it confronts, or is it internal, from that economic fragility that constantly haunts its ambition? The answer to that question will define not just the future of Turkey, but the balance of power for decades to come.